Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Great day to be alive. It is Joe Palone from Behind the Cheese, getting ready for church. Well, actually, not getting ready, ready for church. Let's talk about the Packers first. Had a night to think about it, night to sleep on it. Very disappointing loss, as Packer fans know. It wasn't so much that they lost, it was how they lost. There was eerie, the diehard Packer fans noted there was eerie comparisons to the 2014 championship game against Seattle. Well, 2014 season, 2015 game. Packers pretty much dominated the game. Had a lot of things, go wrong, but they hung in there against Seattle. They were doing the same thing last night. They're pretty much dominating the game, even with losing Jordan Love and fumbling the ball. Jacobs fumbling going in. 0 for 5 in the red zone. Uh, Turnover on downs. Things like that. The Packers still dominated. Give the Bears credit. They hung in there, but the Packers beat themselves a lot. So with a 16-6 lead with 2:05, I think, I will never watch the game again, but I think it was 16-6, 2:05 left. The Bears did drive, so the defense, couldn't stiffen more to stop them. Kicked the field goal, this guy wouldn't miss, kicked a 51-yarder, kicked another one that was tough conditions, so you got to give him credit. It made it 16-9, but then again, with 1:59 left and all they had was 2 timeouts, it would have been nice if Romeo Doubs just recovered the onside kick, but it happened. Romeo Doubs had a nice game up until that point. But it just seems like a lot of things happen to this organization, this ball club, and this basic organization, because every year is different. Every season is different. But, it's disappointing because, like I said, that they dominated but lost, But, if it was the other way around, I wouldn't care, as we know. So nobody really cares. Bottom line is Packers are 9-5-1. I'm rooting real hard for Aaron Rodgers today, as it's not hard to root for Aaron Rodgers. So I would love to see him beat Detroit. If he beats Detroit and the Steelers beat Detroit, the Packers can beat Baltimore back at Lambeau Field. The comfy confines of Lambeau Field. Packers will be in the playoffs at least. But don't even want to talk about Packers-Bears matchup again. I probably will work out better without beating them 3 times. If they could take 2 out of 3, if they do get a matchup with them in the playoffs, that would probably be better for us. Doesn't feel like that now, because the Packers were fighting so hard to win the division. They were 4-0 till last night. They would have been 5-0, obviously. And again, it was just more of the disappointment of how they lost, that you can't get that bad taste out of your mouth until they play again. We could sit here and say a cheap shot on Jordan Love, but Malik came in and played well. And, then he got hurt, he hurt his shoulder on that last drive, and a nice pass to Reed. But then the 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, especially with the botched handoff at the end, or the snap, basically, it doomed us. But, a lot of blame to go around. Sorry about my shirt. A lot of blame to go around. You can blame Keyshawn Nixon's coverage in overtime and in the 4th quarter on the 4th down. You can blame, obviously, Dobbs. You can blame the special teams coordinator. But it's never over until it's over. So the Packers fall, as I said last night or this morning, to 9-5-1. Season's not doomed yet. Packers got to regroup. Hopefully Jordan will be okay this week. He'll go through concussion protocol. But the bottom line now is just beating Baltimore at Lambeau Field next week. And that game will be on Peacock. I will be back at the establishment that I go to watch it. I'll be all geared up. At least it's a short week at work. Sorry. 1.5 days. Christmas this week is exciting. My eating's coming this week, which is exciting. But yeah, no, it's bad taste in my mouth, not gonna lie. I'll be loaded up with my Packer stuff tomorrow, wearing my G, supporting the green and gold, but very disappointing. All right. So in 3 hours, it will be a 34-hour food fast. I've gotten through, I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, 34-hour food fast. I weighed 164.4 pounds this morning, so that was pretty good. So even with the loss and watching the game, all I did was drink diet soda, water, and a few protein shakes. And I had some coffee this morning, as you can see, going to church now, and going to enjoy church, and then we have a lunch afterwards, and it will be about 34 hours that I ate. So basically, all this Packer fans got. Thank you for your subscriptions, everybody. Thank you for the new subscriber, 115. I really appreciate it. I might have been the person that I met in the dentist yesterday. You can give me a thumbs up. You can give me any feedback you want. I listened to a lot of therapy last night with another couple podcasters. I was watching last night until about 2 in the morning. Then I finally went to bed and got up around 8 o'clock, hoping that it was a nightmare. But that's the way it goes. That's football. Go Pack, go get healthy, regroup. Feel bad for them, but hey, they got to get themselves out of it. I thought Halfley coached a great game. I thought LaFleur coached a great game. The players got to play. Eventually, they got to take accountability. They got to make the plays. Uh, so again, 164.4 today with a 31-hour fast right now. We'll be completed at 34-hour fast. I worked out 3 hours yesterday on the bike. I'm going to probably work out 2 or 3 hours again today. Did some lifting yesterday. And it's really all I got. Beautiful day. The sun's shining. Go Pack, go. Let's get to our 10th win. As I keep saying, I know Mike McCarthy's our old coach. You can't start talking about playoffs, he used to say, until you get 10 wins. We haven't gotten 10 wins yet. We're still at 9. But again, we're going to root hard for Pittsburgh today because a Detroit loss and one Packer win. I don't even want to see Green Bay lose again for the rest of the year, but one more Packer win, a Detroit loss, Packers will be in the playoffs. Presumably, probably the 7 seed and 6 or 7 seed. And we could get a matchup with the Bears again. We could get a matchup with the Eagles. Who knows? Right now, we just got to get in. So go Pack, go, regroup, get healthy. Come on, Jordan. I hope you're fine. It was dirty. I'll say a dirty hit. And but Malik played well. Jacobs was hurt after the fumble, I believe. LaFleur didn't really give a good oh my gosh, suggested opinion. Not really. Yeah, we don't know. We don't really know if the running back coach kept him out or he's banged up. I mean, he's hurting, but the fumble did hurt us, as all penalties and turnovers do. The 3rd and 20 on the last drive when Brinson, I mean, if he just doesn't pull the face mask, but he probably doesn't get Caleb. Yeah, so we can sit here all day and complain, but can't cry over spilt milk. Go Pack, go. Let's get that W at Lambeau next week. All right, everybody, have a great day. Happy Sunday. Be safe. Be blessed. Talk to you soon.